Alrighty guys, what's going on everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is having a wonderful, wonderful day out there, other than the severe weather we had ourselves, of course, but I hope everyone is doing good. Like I said, glad to have you guys here. So we got ourselves some new updates for y'all regarding tomorrow, because actually tomorrow, unfortunately, it seems to be like a pretty big day regarding severe weather. Yet again, of course, we do got ourselves an enhanced risk. We'll go over tomorrow's risk. Tornadoes, unfortunately, large hail, damaging winds, could be all a possibility again for tomorrow. So we'll definitely get on into that. We'll talk about the models. We'll talk about the SPC outlook. We'll go over everything. Actually, I'm even going to bring up a bit of the tropics in this live stream too. We do got some new information like regarding the tropical activity and stuff. I'm going to make a whole video on that eventually. Eventually is whenever I get to it. But of course, yeah, so we'll go over a little bit of that here in this live stream as well. Anyways, but let's see who we got here for today. First of all, big shout out goes to Mark, dude, coming in with a $10 super chat as well, man, like right off the bat. Same thing for Tabletop, man. Thank you for the two, guys. I appreciate all your support. So big shout out goes to you. Tabletop, I'll get to Eastern North Carolina here in 1 second, but thank you, man. Appreciate the two. Let's see who we got here for today. So we got Misty, we got Lucky, we have Aiden, Catman, we have Tiffany. I'm going to scroll to the bottom here. We got ourselves Misty, Brooklyn. Let's see here. Courtney, of course. We have, let's see here, Caden. We have Pilot Guy. We got ourselves, let's see, Divinely, Evelyn, Misty, Zen, Steel Hits, Indiana, and everybody else I did not mention. But anyways, let's see here. Pilot Dude also coming. Oh, my gosh, you guys. Y'all right off to the bat. Thank you so much for the support, guys. Much love to y'all. Pilot, member for 15 months, man. It's been a while, dude. Been a while. Cat 3 membership. Wow. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. So glad to be here. Hope everyone's enjoying their night. You too, Pilot. But anyway, so yeah, so let me go ahead and get the tabletops real quickly. Let me see here. Go ahead and take a look at your area. So yeah, there's tomorrow's risk. Oh, probably should line this up a little better. So yeah, here's tomorrow's risk. You're not in any concern tomorrow, tabletop. We got a marginal to your north here on Friday. Nothing crazy, and we don't got anything in the long range, so you're good. No severe risks for you right now, tabletop. So there is nothing to worry about. So you should be good, man. But anyways, yeah. So we're gonna hop on back over here. Actually, we're gonna talk about the SPC outlook for tomorrow real quick, and then we'll dive into models and stuff like that. But we'll get to that here soon. Let's see here. What's up, Capybara says, how is Indianapolis? So yeah, here's the outlook for tomorrow. Indianapolis will be right between the level 1 and level 2 threat for tomorrow. We do got an enhanced, like I said, the level 3 threat. So that's going to be your greatest probability for severe weather. That's going to be out there in kind of southern Illinois, kind of western Kentucky, southeastern portions here of Missouri and northwestern Tennessee. We do got ourselves an enhanced risk, level 3 threat. So tornado probs, you know, it's nothing super wild. Okay, tornado probability, we have a 5%, which it's a decent shot for a couple tornadoes across the brown and, you know, a smaller chance across the green, but It's not expected to be anything significant as of now, so we're not talking EF2 plus. I mean, more than likely, if we did get tornadic activity, it would probably be on the lower side of the scale. We're not expecting any significant tornadoes tomorrow as of now, so that is good news. But we still have that tornado threat. We'll keep an eye on it. So just a little bit of extra attention regarding tornadic activity here, just in southeastern Missouri, portions out there towards, like I said, kind of central southern Illinois, western Kentucky, just some of those regions there. We'll have to keep an eye on it. Overall, damaging winds, though, that's kind of our main problem for tomorrow. That's actually why we have an enhanced risk, is actually because of the damaging wind threat. So it's a non-sig threat, so most wind gusts should be between 60 and 70 mile per hour winds. So that's the gusts, what the winds could peak up to. So that's a 30%. So within 25 miles, we'll say of Paducah, right? So within 25 miles of Paducah, we got ourselves a 30% chance out there. I believe that's for Paducah. Let me make sure I'm looking at the right area here. That is for Paducah. Okay. So yeah, within 25 miles of Paducah, there's a 30% chance of damaging winds. But like I said, between 60 and 70 miles per hour overall. But yeah, 15 across the yellow, 5 across the brown. And of course, of hail, we got ourselves two 15% risk areas. Central Texas, which is really not surprising. I mean, it's Texas. Texas always gets big hail. Everything's bigger in Texas, they say, including the hail. So even here tomorrow in Texas, we got ourselves a hatch risk. So possibility of some hail being 2 inches in diameter or larger. So we could have some pretty large hail out there towards like Central Texas. We'll have to be looking out there for, but. Anyways, just want to go ahead and get that through. Today, we still have a little slight risk, but actually the main threat today is over with, so we should be pretty good. Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to be there. And then, like I was saying, Friday, we got a little marginal. Nothing too worrisome. Just a small freak chance for a couple severe storms in the dark green. That's really about it. So, yeah, nothing super wild for Friday. And then, like I was saying, nothing in the extended range coming up for the next, couple of days. Nothing really expected after that. But then we work our way over here to the models now, y'all. We're going to go ahead and hop on over here. So whenever it comes to the models and stuff like that, we're going to hop to the 18 Zulu. Wow, look at that. So this is the timing right around 19 Zulu, which, let's see. So 18 Zulu, what time is 18 Zulu? I think that's, what is that, like 2? 18 Zulu? Someone correct me there. I'm not, my brain's not functioning very well right now, especially with time conversions and stuff, because this is also Central Time, so you got to subtract an hour from that. But I mean, it does show these storms really kind of firing off here right around maybe 22 Zulu or so. So 04 Zulu is midnight. So let's see here. So 8 p.m. So this would be around 5 p.m. right here. 4, okay, go back 3. So yeah, pretty much an afternoon, late afternoon, maybe early evening initiation here. But according to models and such, we get ourselves a pretty good, here, let's see, let me bring up my pen here. We do get ourselves a pretty good line of just storms developing across that whole region, in which, like I said, this whole region for the most part in this area is a big slight risk. Let's see, we'll go ahead and bring up our pen. So yeah, you can really see how we do get some cells developing all the way even up into like Illinois at that point there, which you probably can't see because it's cutting off. Here, let me move up a little bit. So yeah, so around this time, and we'll also be getting some storms out there by like southern Illinois and like southern Missouri and all of that, and a couple embedded supercells could be possible. Once again, towards the Midwest tomorrow, that's going to be where our tornado threat's at. Hopping back over here to the SPC outlook regarding things here, you can see that our tornado threat's just isolated to like the Midwest and the Ohio Valley here, the Western Ohio Valley, that is, so like Indiana, Kentucky, portions of Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois, places out there towards like Tennessee. You guys are kind of in the threat for tornadoes. We don't, as of now, have a tornado threat down in Texas, so no need to worry about naders down there as of now. Because we don't have a risk in there. Same thing for like Oklahoma and stuff. Yeah, so those regions out there in the the bottom side of tomorrow's outlook, the main problem is actually just damaging winds and some hail. So we'll just have to watch out for those for more of these southern areas. But yeah, these are areas over here towards once again like the towards the Midwest and like the Western Ohio Valley, these regions here is going to be where we're going to have the potential for a couple tornadoes. Okay, so yeah, we'll need to watch out there for that. But anyways, so yeah, the models do show that firing off kind of early afternoon, and then we work way down here further in time. That just kind of continues even throughout the night, unfortunately. So this is right around the time of sunset at this current frame here. So at that point, once again, take this with a grain of salt. Models aren't perfect, of course, but we could have a couple storms firing off there towards, like the Ohio Valley, the southern Midwest, and, some of those regions there, in which this would be right around the turn to tomorrow night. And then we continue further down in time, and there's going to be the possibility we could get a couple strong to severe storms even after night, nighttime, after sunset, I should say. So this particular frame is right around midnight Eastern time. So this would be right around 11 p.m. Central time around these areas here, because this is the Central Time Zone over here. But yeah, we can still possibly see a couple strong storms, and some storms could easily persist through the night. They should be broken up, obviously, by early morning. Before sunrise, they should be mostly gone. But it's still a few showers and thunder showers could remain after that. But honestly, yeah. So it's just kind of a big line of storms that really fires off there. I mean, eventually working its way towards the Ohio Valley. Once again, like I was mentioning here, guys, it's really like this area. Hold on, let me double make sure that I'm circling the right areas here, because I don't want to circle in the wrong areas. So yeah, here, this is basically where that tornado threat is going to be. It's pretty much for some of these regions out there. It goes through Indiana, portions like western Kentucky, a little sliver of northwestern Tennessee, and northeastern portions of Arkansas. So that's kind of where our tornado threat's going to be. Actually, that line could be pushed a little more to the west, more like that, actually. So yeah, that's where we have the potential for tornadoes tomorrow. So that's really that we got to watch out there for. Now, when it comes to the models, like I said, regarding the the ingredients in place, honestly, it doesn't look like really anything wild. Our lower level winds are actually fairly weak, which leads me to believe I don't think we're going to get upgraded. For the people wondering, if they're wondering if we're going to get a 10 sig or what, I don't think so. Because, like I said, the winds are just too weak overall. Instability is pretty good, actually. We got a decent amount of instability or thunderstorm fuel in the atmosphere here. So we're cooking. We got ourselves, enough instability to get some storms rolling. But like I was saying, yeah, those lower level winds are just, not really that strong. About 20 knots. That's hardly enough to even make us a weak tornado. So like I was explaining, honestly, whenever it comes to it, yeah, I mean, we could have a couple maybe early tomorrow morning if storms can fire in this. Whenever the lower level jet's a little stronger, about 30 knots, that I think would be your main environment there. But that's if the cap can break, and while that's there, but that lower level jet completely quickly dissipates into a weaker wind speeds here. But yeah, honestly, it's just pretty low end winds, and like I said, this is going to lead me to believe that we're going to see some lower end tornadic activity. Like I said, kind of on the lower scale of things. Not really anything like EF2 plus. I mean, obviously, nature is very unpredictable, in which, but for the most part, given the ingredients in place, it's not really supportive of those big tornadoes. Those really strong tornadoes. It doesn't seem quite likely. So that's good news. That's good news, at least. But yeah, so the instability's there. It should definitely get a lot of things rolling. Mid-level winds, also, honestly, not very strong. Our instability here, let me overlay that. So basically our thunderstorm fuel at this point, you can see all of this. This is basically storm fuel, right? So in our mid-atmosphere, the winds, they're kind of offset from that convection. So basically the storms are trying to fire off in here, right? And our strongest winds are way to the northwest. So that might even stunt some, maturity and some development and stuff. I mean, look at that. We're getting about 30 knots, 30 knot mid-level jet there. That's kind of weak, actually. That is honestly kind of weak. Yeah, the winds are really not that strong, but we have a good amount of instability, though. Like I was saying, basically the thunderstorm juice. Anything over 1,000 is respectable for severe weather. And, I mean, we're seeing some areas here. Look at this, 1,600 going up to 2,000 in some areas. Let me grab a sounding here. Let's see. We're going to grab one for right around 8 p.m. Eastern time. So let's grab one. Let's say, let's go to southern Illinois. We'll start here. Now let's just grab a sounding. I'm not expecting you guys to understand like what all this stuff means, but I'm just gonna kind of look at it for myself and see. So yeah, like I said, winds are not anything super wild. Honestly, to be honest with you guys, I see mostly just a bit of a small hail threat and maybe some gusty winds out of a sounding. I know it doesn't fully fit, but for a sounding like that, it doesn't really seem anything super wild for tornadoes. Now, obviously, we do have that tornado threat. We'll have to continue watching, but let's grab one towards like western Tennessee, just to kind of see what's going on down there. Just get a good atmosphere sample and see what's going on in those regions there. Okay, so we do have a little bit of lower level turning. I don't know if you guys noticed that. So basically, this is all you really need to know. This is our ground level, and this is going up in the atmosphere. That's all you need to know. Lower atmosphere, mid atmosphere, upper atmosphere. And these are your wind directions. You can see how these ones are pointing to the east. That means the winds are going from the west to the east. So this is north, this is south, this is east, this is west. So from west to east. So, and you can see in our lower elevations here, right at our surface, how the winds actually go north. So we have that veering wind. So basically the winds are changing directions and increasing in wind speeds as we go up in altitude. And that's where you get tornadic activity. And, like I was saying, though, those winds are really not that strong. I mean, about 20, 25 knots. I mean, we could get a couple weak tornadoes, like I was saying, but honestly, I mean, it relatively looks like a pretty low end, a pretty low end tornado threat per se. But everything else looks pretty good, though. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, we got some pretty rich moisture. Upper 60 dew points. There's gonna be a lot of water vapor present in our lower atmosphere that's gonna be really used to get those storms cranking. See a pretty good amount of instability throughout our mid levels and our upper levels, pretty equally distributed. So our instability is fairly decent, actually. So we do got a pretty good amount of instability, unstable air. So we could get some pretty tall top thunderstorms, maybe around 12 kilometers if this actually did play out. So, honestly, so other than the winds at this point, it's a pretty good setup. It is a pretty good setup. And, while, like I was saying, I don't think we're going to have any significant tornadoes from what I'm seeing here, I think there could be some, obviously, tornadic activity, in which I fully understand why they put a 5% risk for tornadoes, regarding tomorrow, but I don't think it's going to go any higher, guys. I don't. I think it's just going to remain at a 5. Honestly, like I said, just considering that, once again, our lower level winds just don't really support any super significant tornadoes because, we do got ourselves a little bit of a low here. But it's just not strong enough to really amplify those winds super, super strong, kind of like how previous events we've had. But that will definitely come in good for sure. Let's take a look at those dew points. Like I was saying, we got some really rich moisture in our lower atmosphere. Look at that. So all of that's basically just really rich moisture, which is really good for thunderstorms, in which we got a lot of it, man. 70s even, 70-degree dew points in some areas. That's actually pretty good. That's really good, actually. So that's good moisture supply to the storms. They need a lot of moisture. The higher your temperatures is, so warmer air can hold more moisture, right? More water vapor. And so you can store more in higher temperatures. And so the higher the dew point is, the more moisture you're storing, the more moisture you're carrying in. And so all that moisture gets shot straight up into the atmosphere, and it condenses at an alarming rate with how much water vapor we have. It's crazy. There's a lot of potential there. So just that in itself is pretty good. I mean, like I said, this is a really good setup, except for, like I was saying, the lower and mid-level winds. That's kind of the only limiting factor, which is really going to hurt the storm's performance overall, which is actually good news. But yeah, so that's what we got going on there. Just wanted to kind of bring that up with you guys. Let me pull up the NAM model. Let's just see how they agree here. I think we're mostly on the same page. Honestly, okay. Okay, so the NAM shows a little more stronger instability, actually. Wow. So more unstable air in the atmosphere. Let's see. What about our dew points? Relatively the same. We're talking, let's see here. Let me make sure I'm on the right time. Yeah, we're on the right time here. So yeah, pretty much relatively the, relatively the same, 60s, some 70s. Pretty good, pretty good. This one does show a little bit of a stronger lower level jet, though. That is the thing. So there is a big difference there. It seems like we get a surface low that develops towards like Illinois, which does kick up and does amplify some of those lower level winds, which, obviously could maybe support some stronger tornadoes. That's according to NAM. Let me grab a few soundings here. Let's just do this. Let me grab one up there towards, let's see here. I don't want to grab a contaminated one. Let's just grab one in western Kentucky, just shyly east of Paducah there. Let's just see. Let's see. Okay, so, so this is a pretty good sounding. Okay, let me full screen this actually. Let me make this look a little better for you guys. There we go. I should have done that a long time ago. So, yeah, I mean, really, this is a little concerning. I mean, this sounding here, I mean, wow, pretty strong. So first thing I want to tell you guys, like I was mentioning here, is, at the surface, our ground level, we got ourselves some, like I said, those northerlies. The winds are moving north at our lower atmosphere, and they do gradually turn to the northeast as we go up in altitude. And you can see this big classic hook there on that hodograph. So you see how it's kind of hooking? That's basically meaning that the winds are changing speed and direction with altitude, in which that is a hodograph you want to see for tornadoes. Now, like I was saying, it still applies to this in particular sounding. The winds aren't super, super strong. Could they support tornadoes? Yes, absolutely. But, like I was saying, is it going to be like significant EF2 plus? I honestly don't think so. Like I said, I'm still standing my ground. I think we'll still be at a 5% for the most part. I mean, we'll see. Obviously, it could definitely, change by then. But I tell you what, man, pretty good hodograph on that one. We got a lot of pretty dry mid levels here. I mean, that's going to stunt some hail growth, allow for some hail growth. Pretty steep, decent lapse rates. Okay, so I know I'm saying a bunch of gibberish. Like I said, what that is basically meaning, I think that there could be some pretty big hail on this in particular sounding. Pretty big hail. Damaging winds, I think, is a big problem. This is like a triple threat sounding. This is like a damaging wind, hail, and tornado sounding. That's pretty good. And I think I grabbed that. Would I grab it in western Kentucky? Yeah, so that was out there in western Kentucky. So we'll see. If models trend, if they continue to support that a little east, I wouldn't be surprised if we bump that tornado threat a little eastward, just if models continue. But like I was saying, though, between the RAP and the NAM, you can see that there's already a bit of difference. How like the RAP model showing like 600 joules per kilogram of instability, and the NAM is showing 2,000. So there's obviously a pretty big disagreement margin here. So the models are still not perfect, of course. And like I said, that's why you should take these with a grain of salt. Each individual sounding you grab, the model you look at, should be taken lightly. Now, you should take it seriously in terms of like getting an idea of what things could look like, but like I was explaining, specifically, like to take it with a serious perfection, don't do that, because models, like I said, they're very funky sometimes. Let's see, HRRR here. So yeah, HRRR kind of shows, kind of relatively the same thing, pretty good amount of instability. So I'm not worried about that. So the instability is there, right? So our thunderstorm juice, the fuel in the atmosphere to get these storms going is there. I do see a lot of that. I'm not worried about that. Like I said, also our moisture, lower level atmosphere, pretty good. Like I said, 60s, 70s in some cases, really good. That is a pretty potent atmosphere otherwise. But like I was saying, yeah, with the winds and stuff, I mean, that's where, it depends on the model. Like I was saying here, like the RAP shows 20 knots lower level. That's enough to just support a couple weak brief spin up tornadoes. Like the NAM, you can see here, shows in some cases like a 40 lower level jet. So honestly, like I say, who do you believe? I mean, like I said, the models are just all over. Let's see GFS. Yeah, GFS kind of agrees, actually. Both models do show, in the morning hours, a decent lower level jet of about 30 knots, which would support the potential of maybe a few stronger tornadoes. I wouldn't quite still say significant, but stronger. But, the models, they do have that lower level jet weakening just a tad as we work our way into the afternoon there. The GFS does have it picking back up, though, maybe towards like late evening tomorrow. Let's see here. Nam kind of agrees, actually. So that seems like a possible thing here that could pick up. So it might be wrap here that's kind of out of the, or kind of in the no-no zone, I guess you can call it, like in terms of agreement. Really not agreeing there. Yeah, I mean, it's mostly just, yeah, I mean, so honestly, I would go with what the GFS and the NAM are saying at that point. So, a couple, maybe increasing tornado threat throughout evening. I mean, we'll have to see. Like I said, it's just something we'll need to keep an eye on. But yeah, so that's just, a little bit of model analysis and just a little bit of model diving for you guys here. Let's go and take a look here at the future just a little bit. I do want to take a look and see if we have anything coming up here. Actually, I saved this so we could look at it all together. I'm still tuned on to the Atlantic. We'll get to that here in a minute. We got to talk a little bit about the tropics in this live stream too. There's a little bit of interesting things going on here that I do want to mention. Anyways, but yeah, so GFS here overall. So we had, let's see, let me make sure I'm on the right day, which I'm not. See, there we go, 17. So yeah, we had that system roll through. We're getting this other little system kicking off here for basically tomorrow, like we were saying. This is going to drive that severe weather tomorrow. After that, we could get ourselves a little bit of a kick of rain in the deep south. So a little bit of a turn for you guys down there towards like the southern plains, maybe towards Arkansas. This is for around the 20th, 21st. So the 20th and 21st, could be a bit of a rainy day for you guys down in the deep south. High pressure building up through the central plains shortly after, leading to some pretty nice and sunny conditions overall. Tracking a little further down in time here, getting a little wonky. And like I said, you go more in la land, the more you progress essentially. Bottom line, I'm not really seeing any big system after this. To be honest with you, it looks pretty calm for the most part. But yeah, whenever it comes to it, though, I mean, it does look like we could have, like I said, with tomorrow's event, that's kind of what we just need to look out for. And otherwise, it should be relatively calm. So I don't really see anything too wild down in the future here. You're going to hear my dogs because they're letting them out again. Anyways, but yeah, so let's go and hop y'all back over here. We're gonna switch over to the tomorrow's outlook. So like I was saying, we're gonna go ahead and hop y'all over there. Going to take a look at it. So yeah, here's tomorrow's risk regarding severe weather. We do have a level 3 for tomorrow regarding the severe potential. Okay, so we got ourselves like central, kind of southern Louisiana here in that level 3 threat. Let's see, also like southeastern portions of Missouri in that level 3 there. Ignore the dog there. He goes wild. So my stepsister, or whoever it is, my sister-in-law, I guess you'll call it, she's letting out the dogs, and whenever you let one out at a time, they go absolutely wild. So that's why you're hearing them go crazy. Anyways, but yeah, so like I said, level 3 across these areas here in the orange, so portions like northwestern Tennessee, western portions of Kentucky, actually even portions here of southwestern Indiana, and portions out there towards like southern Illinois, southeastern portions here of, Missouri. So that's going to be your greatest potential regarding severe weather for tomorrow there. We got ourselves a level 2 across the yellow, so kind of our middle threat for tomorrow. Level 1 across the dark green. So if you're across the dark green, look out for the potential of a few isolated severe storms. If you're across the yellow, look out for the potential for a little bit more sporadic, a little bit more, probable outlooks, regarding potential for severe weather, a little bit more probable. And then, of course, we work way into the level 3, which that is your greatest concern, where numerous severe storms could be expected across the orange there. But like I said, this time we'll have to, definitely keep an eye on it for these regions out there towards like southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, and like western Kentucky, and some of those surrounding areas there. That's kind of what we need to look out for. Like I was explaining, guys, the tornado threat here for tomorrow, whenever it comes to it here, this is our tornado threat. It's really not a very, very large threat, regarding things. Like I said, even though severe weather does go down to the deep south towards like Texas and all, the tornado threat's just isolated for these areas here. With obviously the greatest potential being there in Illinois, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, and a little bit of western Kentucky and southwestern Indiana. That's where the best probability for tornadic activity is going to be. Like I said, in terms of damaging winds, though, got a 30% risk, actually a pretty solid threat regarding the potential out there for, damaging winds in that enhanced risk area. We're talking a 30% chance for damaging winds, mostly between 60 and 70 mile per hour overall. So we're watching out there for that. So it should be relatively on the lower side of the scale regarding damaging winds, but it will be a pretty good probability in which, Paducah, got areas out by St. Louis included, Mount Vernon, Illinois, some of those regions there like Evansville, Indiana, Shelbyville, some of those regions you can kind of see out there. It's where you have a 30% chance of damaging winds, 15% chance across the yellow, and a 5% chance across the brown. Let's see here. Golden Arrow, thank you so much for being welcome to Category 1 Hurricane. First of all, thank you so much thank you for being a member. I appreciate that. That is much appreciated. Obviously, that really does help me out and keeps everything rolling here. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Golden Arrow. That's much, much appreciated. But anyways, so like I was saying, though, damaging winds is kind of on our main concern tomorrow. That's actually why we do have ourselves, like I said, that's actually why we do have ourselves that enhanced risk overall. Now, hail tomorrow, there's a little bit of something interesting going on with the hail threat. We got two 15% risk areas. We got one down there towards like southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri here. And then we got ourselves another one out there towards like Texas. You can see out there towards central Texas. Now, so basically what this is saying is if you're in the brown, you got yourself a 5% chance of seeing hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter within 25 miles of your location. So within 25 miles of you, 5% chance regarding hail. So not really that big. I mean, if you think about it otherwise, a 95% chance you won't see hail within 25 miles of you. So the odds are very low, but still be weather aware because it's still theoretically possible. Now, across the yellow, that is where we actually have a 15% chance. So we're basically tripling that. So we have a 15% chance here of seeing hail between 1 and 2 inches in diameter here. So once again, still on the lower side of the hail for those, the hail spectrum for those regions, but you may have noticed something down here. So they have a little bit of a significant severe threat out there. So this is what we call a hatch risk or a significant risk. Now, what this is essentially showing us is that we have the potential. So we still have the same percentage, 15% chance of seeing hail within 25 miles of a given area. But this time we're talking 2 inches or larger regarding hail. We're talking a very large hail threat. So we're talking, pretty good size. I mean, you guys, let's see here. Here's a, this is a rough way to look at it, but here's a little cap here, right? So this would be right around 2 inches in diameter, I'd say, right around 2 inches in diameter. So that would be about the size of hail potential we could see tomorrow. Maybe a little larger in some cases. That's just what we got to look out for. So yeah, it's in that region there that we got to watch, and that's just shy of Austin, just to the west here. That does not include Dallas. However, we do have ourselves the 15% for Dallas and all of that there. Matthew, dude, thank you so much for the $5 super chat, man. I appreciate that. Big thank you, Matthew, saying, I'm chasing in western Kentucky and southern Illinois. Where do you think I should set up? Well, like I said, obviously, personally, I don't really want to take any responsibilities for for all that. Like I said, chase at your own risk. It's very dangerous. I'm not really for that. But like I was saying, between the regions, I would think like western Kentucky. Like I was watching it as we were looking at the models and doing that analysis. It seems like as we progress into tomorrow evening and as the sun goes down, those lower level winds could increase. But that also brings another risk there, Matthew. You got to think it's nighttime. It's harder to see things. Plus, Kentucky's not really the best place to chase. Just be careful if you do. But yeah, I do think that this maybe could trend a little eastward if models continue to agree, like the GFS and the NAM. We'll have to keep an eye on that. But yeah, let me hop y'all back over there, actually. Back over here to the models. So yeah, here for 0 Zulu on Friday, which is 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. So right around sunset, roughly. So we got a lot of instability building in, according to NAM, out there in the western side here of Kentucky. Lower level winds, could be on the verge of about 30, 35 knots in some areas. We do get a surface low developing there towards like that central side of Illinois. So that will amplify the wind shear in our lower atmosphere. Now it depends, how significant that event is. How strong of a surface low develops there, that is a very big question, in which the NAM model does show that happening. The RAP model, not so much. It shows those lower level wind shear values a lot lower, a lot less amplified here overall. Now, the GFS, on the other hand, agrees with NAM, of course. You can kind of see how we have that increased lower level jet there with that low that develops over central portions of basically, like I said, Louisiana there, amplifying our lower level winds. It just depends on the position. I mean, GFS shows it over southern Illinois, while NAM shows it over southern Illinois and portions like of Kentucky. So, I mean, right on that area there, that is what I would recommend. Just probably in this region. I'd say, honestly, probably this area is going to be the greatest concern for, like, tornadoes and stuff. You know, if models line up, like, so there's NAM. RAP doesn't really show that much of a strong lower-level jet, but like I said, the GFS, on the other hand, it really does amplify, maybe a little bit more to the northwest. It just really depends on how strong that surface low develops, you know, essentially where it's positioned. That is also very important here to determining its strength and all of that stuff there, so... Yeah, whenever it comes to it, though, I mean, like I said, GFS doesn't show much instability, and NAM does. So, like I said, there's still a bunch of, you know, disagreement here between the models. But tomorrow, though, we'll learn a lot more about it. I will tell you that. We'll definitely learn a lot more about tomorrow's threat here tomorrow as we start to get some surface observations, as we start to collect real-time weather data. They'll plug those into the models, and the models will start cranking. They'll start, you know, obviously progressing, you know, on a time series here. They'll start progressing the future in terms of, you know, the models and their predictions. So, yeah, so, I mean, regardless, though, like I was saying, though, you know, with this storm system, guys, I mean, it's a pretty good one. I mean, we have a lot of instability available. Not worried about the instability. We got a lot of juice in the atmosphere to get those storms really going. Lower level winds, I mean... Depends on what model you look at, which it seems like with that surface low developing late could maybe amplify the lower level winds to about 35, 40 knots max, which, you know, could support a couple strong tornadoes. I don't know about significant tornadoes, but I think more than like the lower scale of the EF scale, more than likely. You know, it's still not like super, super wild, but it's getting stronger if that does develop there, which you can kind of see that right there. That little trough there and that low pressure that develops there in like central Illinois. But yeah, so that is that. I mean, like I said, good amount of instability. Like I said, I mean, in some cases, decent lower level winds there, and our mid level winds here. Let's see here. Bring those up here. Yeah, it's kind of offset if you kind of notice. So all that storm activity is going to be happening, you know, south in this region here, and you can see our strongest mid-level winds are up here. So it's a little offset from our main jet stream, but it still should be strong enough to get those storms going, which, you know, I think it could do it. I think it will do it. Anyways, but yeah, so can look at the updraft helicities. I mean, not that the average folk is going to really understand that. Let's see here. I don't think NAM shows it. Does NAM show it? Let's see, updraft. I don't see it on NAM. Let me try RAP here. Does this program even support this? I don't even remember. Honestly, I don't even really use... Okay, there we go. Yeah, so we got updraft helicity there. So, there you go. Yeah, it does show a pretty good margin down there towards, like, southern Missouri there. So, pretty strong updrafts could form in those regions there. So if you don't know what an updraft is, guys, it's basically a warm column of air that rises up into our atmosphere and condenses as it continues to go up north. And in this case, I mean, it does lower a little bit as we do get to like western Kentucky, as you know the sun goes down, which is pretty obvious. I mean, you know, lack of daylight heating and stuff like that can cause this. But honestly, yeah, I mean, it does. That's that. So whoever wanted to look at that, there you go. Like I said, not that your average folks going to understand this. So we try to keep it not as crazy and more understandable for the average folk. But anyways, but yeah, so there you go, y'all. So this is basically the future radar regarding things. We're going to hop down to the deep south here real quickly on this here. So when it comes to it, like I was explaining, with the timing and all that stuff, you know, we could have ourselves a couple storms developing here. This is right around 18 Zulu. So let's see here. 0 Zulu would be, let's see, 8 o'clock. So 23 would be 7. Let's see, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. So this would be 2 p.m. Eastern. So 1 p.m. Central. This is 1 p.m. Central. So 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Central, we could have a bit of convection. Now, once again, take this with a grain of salt. Once again, models, they're not perfect, okay? They're really not. They're not perfect, of course. They should be taken lightly. But yeah, as we work way into basically the late afternoon, early evening, that's whenever we could start to see this kind of big train of storms develop there. Y'all see that? Kind of a big train of storms developing. Now, like I was explaining, though, as of right now, the tornado threat is not for these areas. It's not for Texas. It's not for Oklahoma. The tornado threat's going to be more up in these areas. It's kind of hard because it's kind of cut off there, but that's where the tornado threat's going to be. These areas here, this is going to be more of a concern for for damaging winds and actually mostly hail out there towards that central portion. We could have some pretty big hailstones like I was talking about tomorrow. We're talking maybe the possibility of some of those hailstones getting up to 2 inches in diameter or larger. Pretty good size. Pretty good size hailstones could be a thing for tomorrow. And like I was explaining here with my little presentation. This cap is about 2 inches in diameter. So we could see hail this big and larger tomorrow across central Texas. So, like I said, everything's bigger in Texas, they say. So, it's just something we'll have to see tomorrow. Like I said, I will be live tomorrow for you guys for coverage and all that stuff in order to keep y'all weather aware and prepared and stuff like that. But, like I was saying, though, we'll just need to watch out there for. But yeah, so late afternoon, early evening is kind of whenever those storms are going to start to fire off there. Working our way out there towards the Midwest. You guys can currently see here. So as we work away, okay, so this is right at 8 p.m. Eastern. So this is right around sunset, okay? So right around sunset, we'll have a few storms more than likely towards like Kentucky, maybe western Kentucky, southern Illinois, like southeastern Missouri, some of those regions there. Don't take this with a grain of salt, of course. Like I was saying, do not go like this. Do not say like, oh, look, there's a storm right there. This is at 7 o'clock. This is going to happen. Don't say that. And nobody take me out of context for that either. But yeah, so don't trust them that much. Like I said, it really just, models are not that perfect. They're really not that good. But they can give you an idea, like I was explaining. They can let you know kind of what we're talking about. They can kind of, put you in on kind of what things could look like for a given time here overall. Drew says, do I think early next week we could have see severe weather for the Central Plains? So, Drew, we actually did have ourselves, I did go over the future pattern here. From the GFS. So the next system we're watching after this, so first of all, this is the storm that's kicking off here. Now, we get ourselves another storm system developing here for the 20th and 21st down there in the deep south. So like Texas, we could get a bit of rain and all that fun stuff. But other than that, I'm not really seeing any big system developing after. And anything past this point in time is like la la land. I don't like looking any further than this. Some people like to forecast like this far out. I'm not that guy, honestly, because it changes too frequently, and I like to be as accurate as possible. So I keep it in the low range. I keep it in reasonable territory, because, like I said, some people are wild and literally go to the last frame of GFS, and they're like, oh my God, that's going to happen. But yeah, that's not right. But yeah, the model's really anything past 5 days. It's like, little iffy. But yeah, so like I was explaining, we have a little system developing for the 20th and 21st, maybe. With some high pressure building in on the backside, leading to some sunny skies out there, which should be pretty nice for the 22nd. But like I said, it's a little kind of pushing the boundaries there. But as of now, nothing big. SPC does not have any extended outlooks here other than tomorrow, like I said, with that enhanced risk that we're watching. Tomorrow's big threat. But yeah, so that is kind of what we're looking out there for, y'all, regarding things. Let's see, we're going to hop on back over here to the models. Tabletop, I don't think so. Let's see here. Becky says, that's what I like about you, Andrew, because all these weather people think they can forecast a week in advance are crazy. I know. It's because, you know why they do that, right? You know why people forecast more than a week. They do it not only for views, of course, but they actually do this because if, say, they forecasted a week out and say magically, because a blind squirrel, you know the quote. So I don't remember the quote exactly, but you know the quote what I'm talking about. So basically, like I was saying, though, it's like they think, like, if magically they were right? So they did say this. There's forecasting. They say that this is going to happen, and say it does happen, right? It does end up happening, and they're like, told you so. Look at me, I'm accurate. That's basically what they do. And you can't, like I said, realistically, you cannot look more than a week out. Sometimes I do see like patterns where, models do agree about a week or two out. And I'm like, okay, we got to watch it, but I'm not going to say, oh my gosh, it's the end of the world. But anyways, I'm just going to drop the subject. Getting a little off topic here. But anyways, you all get what I'm saying. I did, John. It was pretty unfortunate. I was not able to be live earlier for coverage today, unfortunately, because, I had some things going on. So sometimes life gets in the way, but I try to be here anytime I can. I'll be live here tomorrow, though. I'll be live here tomorrow for coverage, so don't worry about that. Anyways, let's see. Encyclopedia says, I was picked up in a car when I was younger by the edge of a tornado. Wow. So I'm a little nervous myself. Don't be nervous, my friend. Like I said, we will be here for you. Like I said, of course, I get it's a little nerve-wracking. And like I was explaining tomorrow, I personally think, like I was saying, given everything, like I said, it depends. We'll have to wait for, surface observations and all that stuff to come through tomorrow. But, I think we could, see a couple tornadoes, of course, towards the Midwest. I don't think we're going to see anything like super, super wild, like regarding that potential out there. I don't think we're going to have anything like to the point of, above EF2 plus. Like I said, right now, I don't anything significant. I really don't think so. So here's our tornado threat tomorrow. So it's not as big of a threat, as some of these other days, which is good. It's kind of a smaller threat, a smaller area, I should say. We do got ourselves a 5% risk for tornadoes out there in like southern Illinois, southeastern portions of Missouri, kind of western areas here of Kentucky. So across this area here in the Brown, it's something we need to watch, of course. A couple tornadoes are possible tomorrow. A couple tornadoes are possible. Across the dark green, 2% chance happening within 25 miles of a given location. So we'll use Indianapolis for an example. Within 25 miles of Indianapolis, there's a 2% chance a tornado could drop within 25 miles. Let's see here. Maddie, thank you so much for the $10 super chat. I appreciate that. Maddie, that is very sweet of you. You definitely didn't have to do that, my friend. That helps out a lot. But thank you so much, Maddie. That is very, very sweet of you. Big, big shout out goes to you, Maddie Ann. Thank you. Thank you very much. But anyways, let's see. Can I grab a sounding for south of Springfield, Illinois? Yeah, I guess I can look here real quickly. Like I was saying, the models, they're still in a bit of a disagreement mode. So no matter what model you look at, it's not always going to be 100% perfect. But let me hop over back to the models here. So let's see. So as we work over here toward today, yeah, so basically later on tomorrow, I should say, overall. Tomorrow evening, right around sunset, maybe slightly before sunset here. So let me grab a sounding. Once again, take this with a grain of salt. Do not, make an assumption off of this particular sounding. But yeah, the models, they do show, a little bit of that veering wind. So basically the wind's changing directions in our lower atmosphere, which can, create some spin ups, of course. We'll have to watch out for that. Pretty good amount of instability throughout our atmosphere, though. I tell you that. Let me go to full screen again for you guys. It's a little, yeah. There we go. That's better. Yeah, so you can also see this big hook. This is our hodograph, really showing you that the wind is changing directions and increasing in wind speeds, with altitude. So that's something to look out for. But yeah, pretty unstable atmosphere. Everything lines up good. Pretty rich lower level moisture. High dew points. Like I said, once again, higher temperatures holds more moisture. So we're getting a lot of moisture supply for these storms, which is perfect for those storms. But yeah, but let me grab a model or a sounding from the WRAP model. And let's just compare here. I'm going to grab one that's not in the cap. Maddie Ann, thank you so much for becoming a tropical stormer as well. Maddie coming in here with the support. I appreciate it, Maddie. Thank you so much. You definitely didn't have to do that, my friend. That's a very contaminated sound. Okay. Anyways, but yeah, so same thing though for the most part, relatively unstable atmosphere, but like I was explaining, not as much veering there according to the WRAP model. So, when it comes to it though, honestly, it's like there's a lot of things that need to be worked out, even in this short period of time, because it's just tomorrow, right? Even in this short period of time here, it's like it's not perfectly aligned up here. So here's an example, like I was explaining here. The NAM model shows that surface low developing there, basically towards the south central side here of the state of Illinois, for basically tomorrow evening, right? So those lower level winds potentially could increase as that low pressure basically strengthens there. So we could get that surface low, which could amplify those lower level winds. Now, when it comes to other models, like the WRAP, for example, like the WRAP here, you can see it doesn't show as much of an interaction here. You know, that surface low is not as strong. I mean, it's pretty weak. I mean, we're talking 20 knot lower level jet. That's considered pretty weak lower level winds. I mean, for tornadoes to really start going, I'd say, honestly, like you need to be in the 30 plus knot zone. But we could still get tornadoes, of course. I'm not saying that. You know, I'm saying that, you know, given this model, it's a lower wind field. But not all models agree with that, actually. And matter of fact, most models actually agree that we're going to get stronger winds of about 30 knots or more in some areas down there towards like southern Illinois for tomorrow night. So, you know, honestly, yeah, I mean, it's really these regions here that I think we're going to have that greatest potential. In these areas right there, like I mentioned, that's where we need to watch out for tomorrow. That's a place we need to keep an eye out there for. Oh my gosh, Maddie, gifting a membership. Holy cow, Maddie, you are coming in with some serious support. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much, Maddie. Big shout out goes out to Maddie. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. That's greatly appreciated. Let's see here. What's up, Dawn? Hope you're doing good. Hope you're doing good, my friend. But once again, Maddie, thank you so much for the support. You are awesome. You absolutely rock, my friend. All right, y'all, so let's go and hop our way back over here to the SPC outlook real quickly. So once again, here's tomorrow's tornado threat. Like I said, it's not a massive threat for tomorrow. We do got ourselves a 5% tor threat. Like I said, it's not a super wild tornado threat, but it's something that still needs to be watched, of course. So basically out there towards like southern Illinois, southeastern portions of Missouri, like I was explaining, with that surface low developing and the amplification of that lower level wind field increasing, I think that could allow for the potential here of, like I was saying, that tornado threat to ramp up tomorrow evening, you know, as we continue down in time. So, but yeah, so the 5% region across the Brown, it's, like I said, it's still a, it's nothing to freak out about. It's nothing to, you know, fully worry yourself to death over. Don't, like I said, but be weather aware, you know, keep an eye on the weather. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow to cover this for you guys. You know, just calm down. It'll all be okay, guys. We'll get through this. I promise you. You know, there's a lot of events like this to happen every year. And, you know, like I said, I mean, it's very uncommon for, like I said, for a folk like yourself to be affected very badly by a severe weather event. Now, it can happen, of course. It can definitely happen. But like I said, don't think about the worst. Like I said, guys, we'll get through this. I promise you. But anyways, but yeah, 5%. It's a decent tornado probability. I think things are going to not be EF2+. I think we're not going to break a 10 sig like people might be saying. I think people have been saying, like, or I've seen people have been saying that, like, you know, there could be a significant risk, which I don't think so, based off of what I'm seeing now. But, you know, only time will tell. We'll definitely see here. Let's see here. Hop back over here. Maddie says, thank you, guys, for all you do. Well, thank you once again, Maddie, for all your support. Greatly appreciate it. What's up, James Pettis? Hope you're doing good, man. Hope you're doing good. But yeah, so that's our tornado threat tomorrow. Damaging winds, like I said, that's actually the reason why we have the enhanced tomorrow here. If we hop over to that damaging wind threat, we do got a 30% chance for damaging winds. Now, these winds are going to be mostly between 60 and 70 mile per hour wind gusts out of these storms here. So like central, kind of south central and southern Illinois, southeastern portions here of Missouri, and like western Kentucky, northwestern Tennessee here. We got a 30% chance here of damaging winds. So basically, like I was explaining here, let's just take a random area, for example. Let's use Carbondale, right? So Carbondale, Illinois. So within 25 miles, a big perimeter around Carbondale, we have ourselves a 30% chance that within that 25-mile radius of Carbondale, of damaging winds happening between 60 and 70 mile per hour winds. I had to think about that for a second. There's no hatch risk, so we're not expecting winds to be 70 plus tomorrow. But like I said, we are seeing widespread damaging wind potential there towards those regions. So honestly, like I was saying, if you're across the red, the yellow 15% risk, and the brown, it's really across the red and yellow that we need to be really watching out for. Still keep an eye out in the brown, of course. You're still in that severe weather risk. Still need to watch out for it. But like I said, the main areas here tomorrow is going to be across that yellow and that red area regarding damaging winds. And overall, like I was saying here, whenever it comes to it, what I would actually recommend, what I should say, is that you guys, if you live in this region here, especially the red here, just do a quick, I have a little bit of homework for you, do a quick little thing, go outside, make sure there's nothing loose outdoors, just, to make sure that things don't get blown around tomorrow, because like I said, there's going to be the possibility for some damaging winds, especially across that red area there. So there's going to be a good shot for damaging winds out there tomorrow. In these regions here. So once again, the brown, 5% chance of happening within 25 miles. The yellow 15 and the red 30. So pretty good shot in the 30 though. Now when it comes to it, like I said, just go outside, do a quick sweep, lawn furniture, anything that can easily get blown around, just bring it indoors. Bring it indoors until the storm system rolls through. Like I said, this is going to be happening here tomorrow, evening, roughly is whenever this is going to be happening. Just before and a little bit after sunset is kind of when I'd expect that severe weather to occur. It's actually going to start off here as we were looking at the models. Actually, we'll go ahead and hop on back to those. But yeah, so it's actually going to start off here. We're going to hop to the southern plains real quickly for you guys, and we'll bring up the HRRR for you guys. So yeah, the storms are going to start off here actually in the early afternoon, working their way into essentially what is the early evening. So right around, like I said, this is, roughly, so this is 8 p.m. at this point, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So this would be right around sunset, so 7 Central. At that point in time, we're having some, widespread severe thunderstorm activity going on out there between Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, portions out there by, like I said, Missouri. Now, the good news, like I was explaining, guys, in these areas, this is not a tornado threat for these regions right now, okay? So no need to worry about naders down here, okay? So we're good right here. Regarding tornadoes, let's see here. Yeah, so regarding the tornado probability, we're good in the black area, so don't worry about that. But your thing is like, yes, we are going to get some severe storms, but the thing is it's going to be more for the damaging winds and the hail aspect of things overall. Like I was explaining here, back over to our outlook here regarding the hail threat, we actually do got ourselves a hatch risk for hail. Out there in central Texas. So we got a 15% chance of hail happening within 25 miles of a given point. So once again, we'll use Burnett for an example. Within 25 miles of Burnett, there's a 15% chance of hail happening. Now the significant risk area, that little black circle that's added here, that is what we call a hatch risk or a significant risk. Now what that means is that in this case, we are seeing the possibility of hail 2 inches in diameter or larger. So once again, I'll bring up my little demonstration here. So if I can even get it off here. So this cap is about 2 inches in diameter, roughly. So we could have some hail about this size, maybe slightly larger tomorrow across that area in the black. So keep it out there for that. Large hail is kind of your problem overall. And like I'll make my joke again. Like I said, everything's bigger in Texas. It's a terrible joke. But yeah, so yeah, that is Central Texas there. 15% risk there for that. In terms of, like I said, damaging winds and stuff, got a 15% risk. Once again, wind gusts all tomorrow should be between 60 and 70 mile per hour winds. Tornadoes, once again, not a concern for the southern plains there. But we do got ourselves, like I was explaining, we do got ourselves a, that tornado threat tomorrow. But that's more up there towards like the Midwest and the Ohio Valley, the western side there. So once again, tomorrow's tornado threat is nothing super, super crazy. It's not like a tornado outbreak or anything like that. Severe weather outbreak as a collective, yes, it looks quite possible. But like I said, a tornado outbreak, no, probably not tomorrow. But yeah, so 5% risk. I consider it a decent tornado risk. It's nothing excessive. And like I said, regarding tomorrow, it looks like we're going to remain in the lower scale. A couple weak tornadoes could develop tomorrow. But, the probability is greater across the brown. So we have St. Louis there, Paducah, we'll see Mount Vernon, Effingham. So if you guys are in that region, just know, like I said, within 25 miles of your area, if you're in the brown, there's a 5% chance a tornado will drop within 25 miles of you. Like I said, the odds of that happening is still very low. It's still very low. And hopefully that calms your nerves a bit. Because like I said, don't freak out. I get it. I get weather scary. I get tornadoes are scary. I used to freak out about it myself when I was little. But like I said, we'll all get through this, guys. We'll get through this together. Like I said, I care about y'all. I want to make sure you guys are weather aware and safe. But like I said, there is still that threat after all, and it's still something we should watch. Shouldn't totally ignore it, but like I said, just something to watch. And just a bit of an extra thing for you guys. If you don't know where to go, if a tornado warning is issued, figure that out tonight. Okay, so for example, if you have a basement storm cellar, that's your first option, of course. If you don't, so say you live in a house, go to the central interior portion of your home, such as a base. Or gosh, I keep on doing that, man. I keep on doing that, man. Okay, so central interior portion of your house, such as a closet or a bathroom. That's what I was trying to go with. So that would be the best place to go regarding tornado warnings and stuff. Now, if you live in a trailer, completely ditch the trailer if there's a tornado warning. What you got to do is just go find a sturdier structure. And if there's nothing around, find a ditch and cover your head. That's like a last resort thing if you're in a trailer and there's no other building around you. But yeah, so that's just, I want you guys to just think of that tonight. If you're in this region here, and obviously you don't know where to go, just figure that out tonight, y'all. Anyways, let's see. Wow, that's crazy, Caden. Glad to see you're all right, man. Sean says, just curious, I'm just north of Kansas City, Missouri. What is the chance of tornadoes with tonight's hailstorm overnight? Okay, so tornadoes today, we have no threat up there towards Kansas City. We got a small 2% out there towards southeastern Kansas, northeastern portions here of Oklahoma. In the latest threats, we do got ourselves, obviously Kansas City, a little bit north. You said 15% risk out there for some hail. Probably between 1 and 2 inches in diameter, but slightly to your west, we do have that hatch risk out by Topeka, where we could see 2 inches or more in regarding to hail. Damaging winds 5%, pretty low in threat, but yeah, you're right. It's mostly just a hail concern for you tonight. But even then, like I said, it's a 15% chance of happening within 25 miles of your location. So, still, if you really think about it, it's a pretty low threat, but it's something to watch. Yeah, just stay indoors, away from windows for the most part, and you should be good to go. Let's see here. But anyways, guys, so we're going to go ahead and hop all the way back over here to the models. We're going to take a look back over here regarding things. So like I said, we're going to have to really watch out there for tomorrow regarding the potential for severe weather. Now, when it comes to tomorrow evening, like I was mentioning here, guys, from what it looks like, models are a little off still. There's still a little bit of disagreement going on. But, regarding like the instability and stuff for tomorrow evening and tomorrow afternoon across the region here, like I said, we got a pretty good pool of instability. This is basically your fuel for your thunderstorms. So tomorrow, it's pretty decent. We got ourselves a lot of energy in the atmosphere for severe weather. Now, like I said, our lower level winds here, we do have ourselves a bit of an amplifying, surface low developing there, going over like St. Louis area potentially. A lot of it depends on the track and the strength and all that stuff to see how big that tornado threat's going to end up being tomorrow. But, overall here, it's like, we do get that surface low. It does amplify the lower level winds a tad, which, could create some tornadoes. And, because of that little disturbance there, that little surface low for tomorrow evening, we could have some of these regions here, in a couple tornadoes. And that's lining up right where our 5% risk is for the most part. So that's the cause, is those amplified lower level winds there over that big pool of instability that we have. Like I said, there's a good amount of energy there. There's a good amount of instability available. Plus our lower level moisture, dude, we got a lot of rich dew points there. Like I was saying, 60s, 70s, I mean, we're cooking. Like I was explaining, basically, the hotter the temperature is, here's a little bit of a fun fact for you guys. So the hotter the temperature is, the more water vapor the air can store. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. The colder it is, the less it can store. So since our dew points are so high, the atmosphere at our surface, so our ground level here, is able to hold more moisture, which, eventually all that moisture does get shot up into the upper atmosphere, which condenses and creates these big towering cumulonimbus clouds, which turn into those severe weather, or severe thunderstorms, I should say. So yeah, I mean that's another thing. It's like we have a lot of moisture, a lot of instability. Everything's lining up here. I mean, it looks pretty good. The lower level winds, they're not anything super wild. They're not anything like super significant. I as of now, I don't think we're gonna have a 10% sig like some people are thinking. As of now, I don't think so. I think we'll probably have a 5% tomorrow. Like I said, if the lower level winds were starting to get like 40, 50 knots. In some cases, at this point, the cap's starting to build back in, but we do get an amplified lower level jet there. But if we did see stronger winds of about 40 to 50 knots, at that point, I would say it's possible. But right now, it's not. Like I said, our winds in our lower atmosphere for tomorrow evening, at most, probably going to be cranking right around like 30, 35 knots, maybe. Occasionally the 40, maybe in some areas, but not all models agree on that. Plus, the mixing ratio there is not the not the best. Not the best. Let's see. Jake says these storms are crazy. Yeah, it's been pretty active lately, man. It really has, unfortunately. But I mean, it's storm season. It's kind of a norm for this time of the year. But anyways, yeah. So like I was saying, good amount of instability and all that stuff. If we hop over here to the HRRR, or the HRRR, we call it. Let's see. Tabletop, nothing to worry about, man. You're good. Yeah, there's no risk for you, tabletop, so there's nothing you need to worry about. But anyways, so yeah, so tomorrow, like I was explaining, tomorrow early afternoon, we could get a couple early cells actually developing out there towards like the central Missouri area. So this is right around 18 Zulu. This is, I think, is this like noon? I'm pretty sure, or no, it's not noon. I think noon would be. So this is like 2 p.m. Yeah, 18 Zulu is like 2 p.m. Eastern. So 1 p.m. Central at this point. So we're just breaking afternoon here. That could even carry on throughout tomorrow morning. Get a couple of storms firing out there towards like central Missouri. Once again, I mean, take this with a grain of salt. Models aren't perfect after all. We start to get more growth happening right around like 4 p.m. Or so Eastern. So 3 p.m. Central. So kind of the late afternoon, rolling into the early evening is when we start to get a lot of growth starting to occur. A lot of the storms starting to fire off there. So that would be right around like, 22 Zulu, which that is 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central at this point. So they've been rolling the 6, 7, 8, sun's going down. We're still seeing a couple sporadic cells out there in this region here. And at this given point in time, like I was explaining here, given our, look at the NAM. NAM showing a QLCS. And that's always a NAM thing, though. But anyways, yeah, at that point in time, we have that surface low developing, like I was saying. We got that, amplified lower level winds, which, could get up to, like I said, 35 knots or so. We'll have to see with observations and all. We'll see a lot more tomorrow, basically. But, I mean, given the storms and, given the instability and stuff and, our surface low that's developing there, amplifying those lower level winds, we could get a couple tornadoes. This is right at 8 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So, tomorrow evening, turning sunset, we could unfortunately have a couple tornadoes, like I was saying. But, we'll have to see. Let's see. What's up, Roy? Hope you're doing good, man. Glad to have you here. What's up, Zynga? Hope you are doing well. Let's see here. But yeah, guys, like I said, once again, I get how these are a little worrisome, guys, but like I said, we'll get through this. Like I said, we'll definitely get y'all through this here. I want to make sure that you guys are obviously staying weather aware and weather prepared here. And like I said, I'll actually be live here tomorrow to do a bit of coverage tomorrow evening. So right around when that main tornado threat is gonna kick off there, which it seems like. Let's see here. Let me pull up our SPC outlook again. Actually, I'm gonna hop y'all over here. Actually, make it a little easier on us. So. Let's see. So let's turn up our tornado probability. So yeah, regarding the tornado probs, that's really what I want to be live for mostly. If I bring up the overlay of models here, let's do reflectivity here, and then we'll do. There we go. Okay, so let's work our way down in time just a tad here. So this is a new model that just came through. So it looks like that tornado threat. Oh, that model's not done yet. Okay, we're going to have to hop back to 23 Zulu maybe? I don't know if that goes far enough. No. Okay, we're going to have to hop back to our 18 Zulu run, the one we were looking at before. Okay, so yeah, that main tornado threat looks to develop here, like right around, I'd say between like 3 and 5 p.m. Eastern, roughly. But the main tornado threat I don't think is going to happen until like the evening, until like maybe 7, 7 Eastern. So we'll see. We'll definitely see here. I mean, like I said, I'll definitely be live here for this part here as the storms roll through. Like I was saying, it's pretty crazy. Like the NAM 3K is showing just this squall line. It's that QLCS rolling through. Yeah, a little bit of a difference between those models as we were looking out there for. Let's see. Yeah, just a little different. What time do I think I'll go live? Maybe 5, 6 o'clock Eastern time, if I was to say. Don't make that final though. Things can change, you know. Could go live a little earlier. Let's see. These storms kind of fell apart yesterday. By the time they got here, that's good. Here in Tennessee, Arkansas. Does tomorrow's storm look very severe for us? What, in Arkansas? Yeah, there ain't much of a tornado threat up in Arkansas tomorrow. Just northeastern side near Jonesboro, Pocahontas. You got to keep an eye out there for a very isolated tornado. Yeah, I mean, we do got ourselves a pretty decent risk across all of Arkansas. Once again, just tornadoes not the biggest concern for those regions there. Mostly just damaging winds, you know, between 60 and 70 miles an hour, and hail. Not even that big of a concern. You know, we got ourselves a 5% chance for hail tomorrow. So, you know, up to quarter size in some of those regions there, or between quarter and 2 inches, but 1 to 2 inches in diameter. But 5% risk, nothing too wild there. Overall. Do tornadoes boof? Absolutely, man. They really do. But yeah, so you know, when it comes to it, though, I mean, yeah, things are going to be blowing up here. It really seems like that line of storms develops here right around like 4. So this model shows like 4 p.m. Eastern, 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. So let's see here, 3, 4 p.m. Central time. We get all these cells starting to pop off out there towards like, you know, towards like the deep south, the southern plains, and like towards the central plains as well. Which, let me remind you guys, these storms here, these ones down here are not going to be anything tornadic concerning. They're not as of now, anyways. I don't think they will be either. But these guys, yeah, these ones down here are just going to be a hazard for hail and winds. That's just about it. So just stay indoors, away from windows, and you should be fine in those regions. But coming to tornadic activity there, like I was explaining, these areas, it's a little bit different. We definitely do need to be looking out there a little bit more. Let's see here. Yeah, our lower level winds there. As we approach our way into, I've got to give it a second for this model to load here. You know, as we do approach our way into basically tomorrow evening, you can actually see here how our winds, they do amplify a bit, you know, towards places out there by like the, you know, the Midwest and the Western Ohio Valley there. That's what I was saying, like tomorrow evening, I think that's probably going to be our greatest concern, because we could have some pockets there. Like I was saying, you know, we got to watch out for that too, as we could have some pockets of, you know, higher wind shear, which could allow for some storms to be a little stronger than others. It's a very real possibility there. We'll need to look out for. Carbondale, yeah, you guys are in that region I would keep an eye out there for. I mean, you are in the enhanced risk after all. You do have that level 3 threat, 5% chance for tornadoes. Your main problem is going to be the potential for damaging winds, mostly between 60 and 70 miles an hour. We're not expecting 70 plus tomorrow. There's no hatch risk for hail tomorrow, but there's a 30% risk regarding hail tomorrow. So, yeah, with the hail and everything like that, it's yeah, the hail threat's pretty decent there. Look at that. There's the NAM showing that kind of line of storms rolling through there. That's, yeah, there you go. Look at that. Quite a big difference, man. Quite a big difference between the HRRR. So this model here, the NAM shows, let's see, the storm's really starting to kick off there sometime early afternoon. And the main event's going to start here probably like kind of late afternoon, early evening. You know, I'm thinking maybe like 5, 6 p.m. Eastern time when the main event's going to kick off there for the most part. But yeah, that model just shows a big line of QLCS rolling through. Then we got, let's see here, the HRRR here. Let's see. Yeah, the HRRR definitely is a little bit different. A little bit different. Yeah, St. Louis is under the risk here for severe weather tomorrow. Yeah, look at the HRRR. It just shows blobs. Just a bunch of blob. Yeah, but St. Louis is under the enhanced risk tomorrow, so we got to watch out there for 5% chance of tornadoes. Like I said, guys, don't worry yourself to death over this, guys. Seriously, if you're worried about the tornadoes and stuff, like I said, first of all, I'm going to be here for this later tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening. But also, and I'll be here to let you guys know if a warning's in place and where you need to take shelter, when you can come out, all that stuff. Don't worry about it, guys. Also, like I was saying, when it comes to it, the odds of you specifically getting a tornado is very low. Like I said, for St. Louis as an example, I mean, within 25 miles, here, I'll do this for you guys. So within 25 miles, so that's precisely 25 miles right there. That is 25 on the dot. So that's a 25-mile radius. So within 25 miles of central St. Louis, there is a 5% chance that somewhere in that area a tornado could drop. And like I said, the comparing the size of a tornado path is very small. So just know that. Like I said, the odds are very low. Don't freak out about it, guys. It's not as big of a threat as you think. But like I said, I mean, it's also something you shouldn't ignore. It's something you should definitely still monitor, but it's not as scary as a lot of people make you think it is. it's 5% chance within 25 miles of a location. And same thing for the let's see, I'll go to remove that. Same thing for the dark green. I mean, that's 2% chance, even lower. And the only area we're going to see tornadic activity tomorrow as of now is these areas in the dark green and the yellow, the dark green and the brown there. Now we will have storms firing off further southwest here, but these ones won't be as crazy, and we're not expecting we're not expecting ourselves any tornadic activity down there. It's mostly a concern for hail and just for some winds and stuff like that. Let's see. Should you take shelter in your basement for severe thunderstorm warning, or is it really just for tornado warnings? So Cappy, I would recommend you staying away from windows, of course, with severe thunderstorm warnings. Lightning, of course, is kind of a hazard. Plus, the damaging winds could, could knock some debris off and could hit your window and stuff like that. Just stay away from windows. If it makes you feel better, you can go to your safe spot. I mean, if you want to. If it makes you feel better, it wouldn't be a bad idea, but that would be really only necessary for tornado warnings. It does depend on the severe warning though. I mean, but given tomorrow's criteria, we should be between 1 and 2 inches in diameter of hail for the most part, up there towards the Midwest, unless you're in Central Texas, that's worth 2+, and damaging winds here between 60 and 70. We're not expecting to exceed 70-mile-an-hour wind gusts in terms of storms tomorrow, so that is good. But there's still going to be that potential for some gusty winds and stuff. But yeah, totally up to you, my friend. That is your choice. But yeah, I would recommend staying away from windows, though. That's something I would definitely say. Got some severe warnings going on. Let's go ahead and take a look real quickly at these real quick. We have a dying severe weather event going on here. We had a pretty nasty day in Ohio today. A lot of strong storms rolled through Ohio today. We still got a couple severe storms starting to work their way up in the West Virginia right now. They get a funnel cloud report by Marietta. Interesting. But as of now, we just got those 2 severe warnings. Nothing, or 3, I should say. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and $quarter to $half hail from what I'm seeing here. Yeah. Yep, so basically 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and hail between 1 and 1.5 inches. Sorry, 1.25 inches in diameter. So, nothing super, super excessive overall. Anyways, all right, y'all, we're going to hop on back over here. I'm going to throw in my glasses. Like I said, I'm not doing this to look cool, but I'm doing it because it hurts my eyes to stare at monitors for too long, so if you see me with my glasses, that just means that my eyes are in strain mode, and it basically helps out if I have them on. So I'm not trying to look cool because I know I don't, but Anyways, but yeah, so let's go ahead and hop back to the models here, guys. We're going to take a look at things. So like I was explaining with tomorrow's event here, as we approach our way into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, the models, actually, let's just zoom out across the whole country here for the most part. So, wow, holy cow. I didn't even take a minute to look at the South regarding instability. Wow. That is crazy. The NAM shows 4,000 joules per kilogram of instability. Like, if you don't know, for an example, anything over 1,000 is pretty good. 2,000 plus is considered excessive. Yeah, seeing 4,000 joules per kilogram, that's like a lot of instability. That is a super unstable atmosphere. Anyways, but yeah, so regarding tomorrow's thunderstorm fuel, you can kind of see this big pool over here, just a bunch of mix of colors there. So that's basically where our thunderstorm juice is. That's basically where the atmosphere is unstable, where you have, positive buoyancy, basically where a storm wants to rise and all that stuff. So that's your energy, right? So that's where your thunderstorm juice is at. So yeah, regarding our winds and stuff, like I was saying, there's really not a super strong low pressure system that's just amplifying these winds like crazy. So the reason we don't have a tornado threat down in the further south, like, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and like Tennessee, as we do like up here towards these areas, is because those winds almost completely die off in our lower atmosphere. So basically, those lower level winds are extremely important for tornadoes to develop. In which, in the case being, there's really not a lot of winds there. But if we do zoom our way over there, more into that tornado threat zone, you notice how, like I was explaining, we got ourselves a surface low that develops, a little low pressure system that kicks off out there towards like Illinois, which does, expected to amplify those lower level winds there, increase our wind shear, which would, thus increase the tornado potential. So the models, to some extent, agree. The RAP doesn't agree with it, but the NAM and the GFS do agree with the potential of that happening, especially as we work way over here towards like sunset. This is right around 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. We get that surface low over there of Illinois. You can see amplifying those lower level winds, and NAM is fully on board with that as well. So both models do show that increasing lower level jet stream, which, like I said, could definitely create a few spin up tornadoes and stuff like that. In terms of the instability, once again, overlapping that, there's an uncapped environment, so storms should have no problem freely convecting. Storms should have absolutely no problem firing off overall. So given winds and everything like that, we're looking pretty good. Dew points, like I was explaining, our moisture in our lower atmosphere is actually very high, which is good for storms, actually. So, we're seeing our dew points here in the 60s, in some cases locally the 70s, which is allowing for a lot of moisture to be built up and shot up into the atmosphere. So, for example, like I was saying, I mentioned this a couple times in the stream already. So the hotter the temperature is, the more moisture the atmosphere can hold. Like I was explaining, the more the moisture the atmosphere can hold. So with the dew points being so high, it's basically meaning that there's a lot of water vapor that's being collected in our lower atmosphere. And as that air rises into the cooler environment, the temperature cools down. Cooler air can't hold as much moisture, so it squeezes all of that water vapor, it condenses it, and turns it into water droplets, which form these big towering clouds, in which that is really good. So there's a lot of moisture available, actually really good. That's like perfect. That is a good amount of mixing there. So, I mean, really the only big limiting factor with tomorrow's event is winds, in terms of like, super, super strong winds and all that stuff. But honestly, when it comes to it though, I mean, it depends on the model you look at, but some models do show like 30 knots, which is considered a decent amount of, lower level winds, which, I think could get a couple tornadoes, of course, and all that stuff. Tomorrow evening, I think that's going to be a good possibility. But yeah, is instability good? It's good for thunderstorms because it means that the air is very potent and holds a lot of fuel for thunderstorms to thrive in. But anyways, let's see here. It says 4 severe thunderstorm warnings. Let's see. I think we got 4 right now. We got one in Texas actually too. Oh, hold on. Let's actually hop y'all over there real quickly. Let me bring y'all over here. Got one in Texas, actually. It's a considerable warning. Probably for hail, knowing Texas. Like I was saying, man, Texas, there's something about it. They always get like large hail. Yep, golf ball hail and 60-mile-an-hour winds. Got a kind of a discreet storm firing on out there. That's just east of San Angelo. Huh, that's interesting. Got another cell to the north there. You see that? So the dominant cell is always going to be that right mover or that southern one. Yeah, the left mover, that usually just doesn't produce anything concerning. I mean, it can definitely produce some hail and stuff still, but like tornadic wise, not that there is a tornado threat. I'm not worried about tornadoes down here right now, guys. Don't freak out. I'm just saying, like in a general scenario, the right mover, the southern one, always wins. Pretty cool. It's pretty cool how that works. It's just a atmospheric handoff. It's pretty neat. Rhonda says, thank you for looking out for it. No problem, y'all. Like I said, I'm glad to be here with you. Honestly, I am just very thankful to be able to have such an amazing community like you guys. And honestly, that's all I need, man. Just y'all to be here and just being weather aware. That's literally all I care about, man. It's just want to keep y'all prepared. Want to keep you guys weather aware and, most importantly, not scared. Because, yeah, I get it. Nature can be pretty nasty, but like I said, no reason to freak out, guys. No reason to panic and, worry yourself to death over. Like I said, it'll be okay. We'll get through this, guys. I promise. I promise you, we'll get through this. Now, it might look scary, and like I said, I mean, there is potential for severe weather tomorrow, but, when it comes to it, like I said, I'll be live for you guys to let you guys know where these warnings issue and, where attention needs to be. I'll let you guys know that tomorrow. But like I said, just don't worry. You're here because you're concerned about the weather. In which, like I said, that's a really good first step at being weather aware and being prepared for anything that come your way. And once again, like I said, tomorrow is not even the biggest day out of them all overall. But yeah, tomorrow's main concern, like I was saying, is mostly just winds, mostly just gusty winds up to 60 and 70 miles an hour, which, if you stay indoors away from windows, it should be not too bad for you. Is this ARRR? Yeah, this is ARRR here. It's 18 Zulu. Actually, the 0 Zulu should be done now. It's almost done. 77%. Let's see here. Oh, wow. That is whoa. Okay, that's really interesting, guys. Look at this. So the new ARRR shows us like a squall line, like how the NAM nest shows. Or the NAM 3K shows. Look at that. Holy cow. Okay, so that's something new. That is actually something new. Dude, that's so weird. Matthew just sent a $2 super chat just now saying, check the ARRR 0 Zulu run. Looks more linear. What the heck, dude? What is that timing? That timing is something else, dude. I literally was looking at it as soon as Matthew sent that. Wow. Okay, so yeah, that definitely does look more linear. So the thing about linear storms, guys, let me bring up the 0 Zulu here, is that linear events more usually cause like damaging winds, but they still can have embedded tornadoes, of course. I'm not saying that the tornado threat's gone, but it's a different mode from the previous ARRR run, which is definitely interesting and really shows you that nature is just kind of weird and unpredictable sometimes to see here. Yeah, I mean, on that there, so that's where your squall line's going to be, is on that surface low that develops there. Overall, amplifying those low-level winds. Yeah, I mean, it looks decent. It just depends on how strong those low-level winds get. Let's see. Yeah, that's quite a change, man. That 0 Zulu. I mean, look at that. That's just wow. Okay, so that even shows some storms popping up even in like north central Illinois there. Let's see. Does the risk even go up that high? Barely. I don't know. We'll see what they do. They might even, if it warrants, maybe a bit of an expansion. We'll see. Yeah. See, that's right on the nose of instability there, right on that bit. Sometimes that's where you can get some tornadic activity, so we'll need to watch it. I think most of the tornado threats like throughout these portions here. and south. Man, oh man. Yeah, that's definitely a little bit interesting there. Once again, Matthew, thank you, dude, for the 2. I appreciate it, dude. But yeah, that's just weird. That literally that same time, it's like you told me to look at that HRRR. I was already looking at it. It's like, dude, the timing is just wild, man. It's just wild. Let's see here, Matthew coming with another 2, man. Thank you, dude. Like I said, guys, y'all don't have to donate, but it really does help out when supporters do. So thank you to the supporters, honestly. Like I said, y'all help keep me alive and help keep me well, and obviously these programs up and running too. So thank you, guys. Matthew says, I'd rather see linear. Love shelf clouds more. Oh, I hear you, man. I do too. They can be beautiful. They really can. Yes, indeed. They are beautiful. Let's see. Yeah, so bottom line, guys, like I said, we're going to have to watch out for a couple tornadoes tomorrow. Like I said, don't worry yourself to death over it. A couple tornadoes out in some of these regions in the southern Midwest and like the western Ohio Valley. It seems quite possible. Like I was explaining, also hail and damaging winds. Let me hop y'all back over here real quickly. Yeah, so let me turn off the models for a minute. Let's go ahead and turn this off real quickly. So yeah, here's tomorrow's threat. So we got ourselves this big area here. So when it comes to it, once again, Matthew, thank you, man, for the 2. Appreciate it. So that it's a pretty decent size risk for tomorrow, but like I said, most of it's not for tornadoes. Tornado threat is only that small portion there out of this whole big threat here, right? So just this area as of now, look out for a couple tornadoes, a few isolated tornadoes. Like I said, it's not going to be like a tornado outbreak or anything like that, but it's going to be, something to still watch out there for. But yeah, so like, southern portions of Illinois, we got like southeastern Missouri here, 5% risk. So like I was explaining, within 25 miles of a given location, once again, we'll use St. Louis, for example. Within 25 miles around St. Louis, there is a 5% chance that a tornado could drop in that region there. In terms of damaging winds, we got ourselves 30% risk. Damaging winds between 60 and 70 miles an hour seems to be kind of what we're looking out there for. And when it comes to hail, man, I mean, we're talking 15% risk for hail with actually a hatch risk down there towards like central Texas overall. So that is definitely pretty good. Pretty good. Let's see. Is a wall cloud and a shelf cloud the same thing? No, they're different. They are different. So a shelf cloud is basically, a storm, the edge of a storm that you can see. I wish I could show you the difference. I would show you the difference on images. Just look up the difference between a wall cloud and a shelf cloud images, and you'll see the difference. They're not the same. I would do it for you, but like I said, there's a lot of copyrighted images out there. I'm not going to just copyright myself because of it. But yeah, just go on Google, look up shelf cloud, then look up wall cloud, and you'll see the difference. They're different. Yeah, wall clouds are associated with mesocyclonic activity, and shelf clouds are just usually the storm's edges, leading the edge of a storm. See, what time is that starting tomorrow, says Stephanie? It's going to be happening tomorrow afternoon. Like 2 p.m. or so is whenever things are going to start to kick up there. Let's see here. The thunderstorm hit Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania right now is intense. Yeah, you guys got hit pretty good out there, I should say, earlier. There's no severe warnings in Pennsylvania, but we did have like Pittsburgh in that. Look at all those blue dots. So all those blue dots are damaging wind reports coming through. But no, we had like 80 mile an hour wind warning out there in Pittsburgh today. 80 mile per hour wind gusts possible. Well, it's pretty strong, actually. Let's see here. But yeah, so that's that. Pythagorean says a weather live stream that isn't fear-mongering. That's a first. Got yourself a new sub. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Like I said, I always try to tell people it's honestly hard to compete with the amount of fear-mongering YouTubers out there. It is. It really is. But I'm not mentioning names. I'm not going to get into drama like other YouTubers make drama. There's a lot of YouTubers that make drama just for self-promotion, basically. It's stupid. But like I was saying, though, I mean, it's hard to compete, so you got to make your thumbnails and stuff a little interesting. But what I put on mine is facts. It's truth. What I've said on my thumbnail today, it's true. Severe weather outbreak, a collective of severe weather is expected tomorrow. An enhanced risk, pretty good risk. But, and then like I said, whenever you guys get in this live stream, like I said, I try to help out as much as possible. I try to calm y'all down, and I speak facts to what everything's looking like. I make sure to take all models in consideration and all that stuff, and everything like that. Like a lot of YouTubers don't, but like I said, we're not gonna get too deep into that because that can get me in some trouble. That topic can get you in trouble, but I'm just gonna back off. This channel's not drama. This channel's just weather. That's all it is. But I appreciate it, man. Thank you, Pythagorean. Let's see here. Let's see. What time will it be? What time will it be by Springfield? So, like I said, models, they're not entirely perfect, so you shouldn't take it with a grain, or you should take it with a grain of salt. Like I said, you really shouldn't, really focus in on it and expect everything to go as what the model says. You shouldn't do that. Let me bring this up real quickly. Data. Let's see here. So you said for Springfield. Oh my gosh, Matthew! Holy cow, dude! Coming with a $20 super chat, man. Goodness, dude. Thank you so much. Springfield, sometime in the transition of late afternoon, early evening. Sometime between, I'd say, like 2 and 5 p.m. It's a big gap, but like I said, it's just models. Holy cow, Matthew, dude. Thank you for the $20, man. Saying, appreciate you so much. I've done 30 hours of weather coverage. See you in the last 3 days. Finally going to chase tomorrow. You're the only YouTuber I watch. I would love to maybe meet one day and talk sometime. It sounds good, Matthew. Thank you, dude. That is just, ow. That is very sweet of you, bro. Huge shout out goes to Matthew. Like I said, man, that's going to go right back into the program here I use, and it's going to help us afford another month. So thank you, dude. Wow, man, that is quite awesome of you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you. Very, very much. But anyways, so let's go ahead and hop our way back over here, y'all. We're going to kick on back to the models and stuff like that. So, as we as I was mentioning here, like as we progress into tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening here, whenever it comes to it here overall, like I was saying here, it's those lower level winds, well, they seem to be pretty strong in the morning before convection. So before those storms are going, the winds are pretty strong. The winds do die off a little bit as storms start firing here, but it does look like, once again, as we approach basically the evening, as we're getting closer to sunset, we got that surface low, basically that, that squall line that the models are showing now, developing, which could increase, with that low pressure there, that could locally increase the winds in our lower atmosphere, which could allow for things to, get going. And like I was saying, these regions here is where that tornadic activity is. Now, like I said, I'm not worried about the instability. There is a lot of energy in our atmosphere tomorrow. I mean, it's definitely looking pretty hefty regarding tomorrow's instability, accumulative, I should say. The accumulative, I can't talk, dude. The accumulative of the instability is pretty great tomorrow. So we got a pretty good margin there of instability, especially with the down there towards like Texas. It's like, dude, some of the models go pretty wild. Like the NAM showing like 3,000, 4,000 joules per kilogram. It's just wow. Yeah, but obviously GFS doesn't line up, so it's like take that with a grain of salt, of course. I always say that. It's just how you got to do it, man. I mean, it's just models they're not always facts. They're not always that way. Yeah, plus our main jet stream is very much offset from our main threat area, so it's going to probably affect the storm's performance a bit, but 50 knots should still do it. 45, 50 knots should still do it. Let's see here. Anyways, what's up, Tori? Saying, hello, Andrew. It's supposed to get bad in tomorrow night here in Southern Illinois. Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it. Like I said, Tori, don't freak out about it. Like I said, just be weather aware. Just keep an eye on the weather. But like I said, don't worry yourself over tomorrow. That goes for all of you guys. Like I said, don't worry yourself to death over the weather. Like I said, it's going to be good. It's going to be fine. We'll get through this. I'll be live tomorrow for some of this to cover it. probably in the afternoon or the evening, I should say. Probably not going to cover those those early afternoon storms. But as we approach tomorrow evening, that's when I'm going to go live, right around sunset or so, maybe before, just depends. But just stay tuned, just stay tuned. Turn post notifications on, that way you know. But yeah, guys, don't worry yourself to death over the severe weather. Seriously. I mean, just keep an eye on it. It needs to be watched. It's something that you shouldn't ignore, but it's also something you shouldn't worry yourself to death over and have anxiety and panic attacks over. It's not that bad. It's definitely something to still watch, like I said, but it's not as crazy as people make it out to be. It's really not. I mean, like I was explaining here, let me hop y'all back over here to the risk area. Like whenever it comes to tornado probs here, right? So we got ourselves a 5% risk for tornadoes there. So yeah, so like I was saying, in that 5% risk, let me do a little example for y'all. So Mount Vernon, okay, so 25 miles out. Once again, this is I'm gonna try to get it right on 25. Okay, so that's 25 miles, right? So within 25 miles of Mount Vernon, there's a 5% chance or a 95% chance that a tornado, 5% chance that a tornado will drop somewhere in that 25-mile radius. That does not even mean your area. That's just around you, within 25 miles of you. And like I said, even the tornado path compared to that area is usually very small, very, very little. Now, so you can see where the odds are very low here. That's a 95% chance of not having that happen within 25 miles of you. So just keep that in mind. But it's obviously, something that you shouldn't ignore, of course. Like I said, it's something you still shouldn't ignore. Because, it's still possible we could get a couple of tornadoes. Now, as a collective, as this whole area, yeah, we could expect a couple tornadoes tomorrow. That's what I would say. But for one specific area, gosh, honestly, I don't even know the exact stats, but I feel like it would be more likely of you winning the lottery in some cases with a percentage, like a 2% risk out there. I feel like the odds are more favor in that. Anyways, but yeah, so let's see. I live in Carbondale. Yeah, we've had a lot of people from Carbondale join us today. Like I said, for my Carbondale folks, yeah, you guys are in that 5%. So same thing, man. So within 25 miles of Carbondale, there's only a 5% chance a tornado will drop in that region. Now, here's the thing, though. Now, damaging winds, that's where it's a little more different. Okay, so damaging winds, we're expecting, like I said, we have a 30% chance. So that's kind of decent. I'm not gonna lie, a 30% chance. So that's basically a 1 in 3 shot, roughly. I know 1 in 3 is 33%, but roughly 30%. So basically a 1 in 3 chance, roughly. But yeah, so within 25 miles of Carbondale, okay, or really anywhere in that red, there is a 30% chance that damaging winds, gusts from the storms could be, between 60 and 70 miles an hour. So definitely that. Let's see here. Pythagorean says, so basically you got to get really unlucky to get one near you. Pretty much. Now, damaging winds, like I was saying, 30%, that's a little more probable. That's a little more realistic. Because like I was saying, the models, let me hop you all back over there. The latest models, like the new HRRR that just came through, it's pretty interesting. We just looked at that here a minute ago, but yeah, I'll show you all again here. So look what happens. So you kind of have like this big line kind of roll through here, right? You kind of have like this big squall line. We call this, the fancy term for it is a QLCS, a quasi-linear convective system. I know it's a big word to take in, but all you need to know is it's just a straight line of storms. That's all you need to know. Yeah, so just that line of storms there, and usually these lines do produce some gusty winds. That's the main hazard, actually, tomorrow, is just these winds. And like I said, they should be between 60 and 70 miles an hour, which if you're, honestly, 60 and 70 mile an hour winds, they can be damaging. They can, yes. But if you remain indoors and away from windows, recommended, I mean, if you want to be in your safe spot, if it makes you feel better, go do it. Why not? But like I said, if it does come to that point, if you stay away from windows and stuff, you'll be fine, more than likely. More than likely. I mean, houses are built to withstand at least 70-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, it's like some things, like some shingles might come off at worst case scenario, but like when it comes to it, I mean, the main structural integrity of your home should still remain intact, even with like 70 plus, which we're not expecting anything above 70 as of now tomorrow. So keep that in mind. Mostly between 60 and 70 tomorrow with the damaging winds. So, anyways, does the percent decrease with how powerful the tornado will be too? Yeah, so kind of. So there's something we call a hatch risk or a significant risk. So basically, let's see here. Oh my goodness, Matthew Allen coming up with a $10 Cash App donation, man. Thank you so much. Saying, hey, bud, let's see here. How can I message you? Let's see. So I do have a Discord, Matthew, so join our Discord down in the description. Download Discord if you don't have it, and you can chat with me there. Absolutely. But anyways, but where was I at? So yeah, if we have a hatch risk, that means that, which we don't tomorrow. Don't worry. Tomorrow we do not have a hatch risk. If we did, that would mean that there's a potential for EF2 plus tornadoes. Now, we do not have that tomorrow as of now, so more than likely, if we did get tornadoes, it would be on the lower scale. It would likely be on the lower scale. So, like I said, we're not expecting like these massive, long-tracked, supercells that capable of producing like EF2 plus. We're not expecting that tomorrow. We're not. But we are expecting a potential for a couple tornadoes, likely on the lower edge of that risk. But the thing is, though, it makes it a little more concerning, though, is the fact that this is going to be, that tornado threat's going to continue into nighttime, and there could be some embedded tornadoes. Now, what I mean by embedded is basically that rotation in that tornado inside of that precipitation core, which would allow for the storm to be obscured, meaning you wouldn't be able to see it. Not to mention it's nighttime, so it's kind of hard to see. But yeah, QLCS tornadoes, can't see them, so that's why we rely on radar and stuff like that. Aren't tornadoes formed in QLCS usually a bit weaker and short-lived? Yeah, they are usually. So even if tornadoes most likely should be weak. Yeah, the big tornadoes you get, Pythagorean, is the ones on the supercells. Those isolated, discrete storms. Those individual cells. Those are the ones that you got to really look out for. But given latest model support, it looks like we're starting to get some agreement here. You can see there's not many prefrontals. We've got a little bit of convection down there. That probably won't be anything super concerning. But yeah, you can see it's just mostly a straight line there, in which, yeah, that is right. Let's see here. But anyways, what about East Tennessee tomorrow? Yeah, we should be good in East Tennessee. There's really nothing too crazy. We do got a little marginal out there. But like I said, severe weather risk out there for East Tennessee is pretty daggone low, honestly. It's nothing super wild. Let me hop y'all back over here tomorrow, or for tomorrow's risk, I should say. So, yeah, Eastern Tennessee, Knoxville, just a marginal level. Like I said, the scale goes from 1 to 5, 5 being like worst case scenario, outlook and stuff like that. And level 1 just being that low end threat, and we're in the low end threat here for Eastern Tennessee tomorrow. So nothing extremely crazy for you tomorrow. So that's good. Yeah, but keep an eye on it. Have a way to receive warnings, and if something happens, just keep an eye on it. Like I said, I'll be live tomorrow too. So if any tornado warning somehow magically goes somewhere else, I'll let you know. But I wouldn't count on it. I really wouldn't. I wouldn't count on the storms, not me not being live, which I will be live. I'm going to be live probably sometime evening tomorrow, though. I'm not going to go live more than likely for the afternoon stuff. I'll probably go live like sometime in the evening, just before sunset. I'm shooting for maybe like 5 or 6 or so. We'll see. Anyways, Ohio, you should be good, man. Yeah, Worcester. Tomorrow, Ohio, we do have a small little level 1 threat on the southwestern side. Just a small potential for a couple strong to severe storms, but let's see. Need some storms out in Arizona. Nothing but dirt and dust out here. I hear you, man. It's actually out here in Florida, too. It's been pretty dry. I'm here in Central Florida. That's where I live. Wow. It's been pretty dry lately. We definitely do need some rain down here in Florida. It's been precipitationless for days. It's been sunny for days and days and days, and just not a lot of storms. Which I would definitely enjoy the rain if we had some. That I would. Anyways, y'all. But yeah, so the main storms, like I was explaining here, this is 18 Zulu, so this would be like 2 p.m. Eastern time. That's whenever things, according to the latest model, could start firing off here. And it's going to start, it looks like, out there in central, kind of west central Missouri. So heads up to you guys. So the starting point is going to be out in this region here, more than likely, out there in central Missouri. This will continue eastbound. We'll roll through here. Let's see. So 20 Zulu, this would be a 4 p.m., 6 p.m., and then this will be 8 p.m. here. So we work our way down in time, and you can just see how this kind of goes through. Now, this storm system, this is right at midnight. This frame here, the storm system, there still could be some severe warnings on it at that point in time, but the most of the threat will be mostly over at that point. But yeah, this will continue into the evening, after sunset. So there still will be some storms after sunset to look out for, which, like I said, I'll be live for. We'll be live covering this here. So be sure to subscribe if you haven't, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. It'd be much appreciated that way. I know you guys are being weather updated and stuff like that, and plus it helps out the channel. Like I said, guys, if y'all subscribe, it tells YouTube, hey, this is a pretty good channel. Maybe we should push it out more. That would be very helpful. And like I said, not just to make sure you know what's going on still, but also to, like I was saying, also to help boost it so other people can reach this information. And, sharing can help amplify that a lot. But it'd be much appreciated, guys. I'm not going to beg for subscribers like a lot of YouTubers do, but I'm just going to remind you, if you want to, it would be in your best interest if you could. That would be much appreciated. And like I said, you'd be weather aware too. So it's a win-win-win, really. It would be much appreciated, y'all. And like I said, subscribing, if you don't know, it's free. If you guys are not really used to YouTube, it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's just a push of a button. Scroll down, you should see subscribe, and just click it. Let's see here. Well, we have a few tornado watch. 5% usually do gather tornado watches. I wouldn't say it's impossible. I'd say it's actually possible tomorrow, yeah. But can't tell you for sure. What are storms going on right now? So we got a couple severes going on right now, actually, up there in West Virginia. It's just kind of not where you would think of severe storms. But yeah, we got a couple severe warnings out there in West Virginia right now. Let's see here. Yeah, these guys are mostly just for like 60 mile an hour wind gusts. 60 mile an hour wind gusts, let's see here. Quarter hail. Yeah, it's just kind of a low end stuff there. Yeah, so just 60 mile an hour wind gusts, quarter hail. Just stay indoors, away from windows, and you should be good. Should be good. Oh, let's see here. Tori says no sleep for me tomorrow night. Tori, don't worry about it, my friend. Like I said, honestly, Tori, what I'd recommend is like getting a weather radio. Just buy a weather radio, save up for one, and like I said, they're like $20, $30 at Walmart. You can just go up to Walmart and grab one. They're like super cheap. Well, kind of. they do get expensive, but like $20 for potentially life-saving information, that's pretty good. So yeah, get a weather radio. That way you set it for your own county. That way if there's a warning for your county, it'll wake you up. And then you can sleep. And then whenever you get warned, you can wake up. And then you can take action based off of what it is. If it's a severe thunderstorm warning and you're away from windows, you should be fine. Like I said, especially with tomorrow's storms, warnings probably will just be between 60 and 70 mile an hour wind gusts on some storms, and hail between, up here in the Midwest, hail will probably be between 1 and 2 inches, but here in central Texas, it could get a little higher, up to like maybe 2 inches in diameter. So yeah, that's something else. Let's see here. How does Waco, Texas look? Waco's in a slight risk tomorrow, level 2 threat. Got to keep it out there for mostly just hail and winds. No tornadoes, though. No tornadoes down here for tomorrow. Yeah, like I was explaining, guys. Let's see. Let me show you. Thank you all for subscribing. Appreciate it. Like I said, it'll do you all good. Keep y'all weather aware, too, like I said, because we'll be here for y'all tomorrow to cover this. So don't you worry. But I do appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Yeah, so here's tomorrow's tornado threat. Like I said, it's nothing huge, nothing like massive. It is a decent tornado threat. Like I said, 5% risk. Overall, we could have a couple tornadoes tomorrow. But like I said, don't worry yourself to death over. I mentioned this a lot. Don't worry yourself to death over it. Just like I said, just don't worry yourself over the death over it. Just still be weather aware. Keep an eye on the weather, but don't just scare yourself so much over this, because it's more than likely you'll be totally fine. Yeah, more than likely. The odds of you getting a tornado, even at a 5% risk like this, is very low. Like very, very low. So like I was saying, for example, if you guys are just joining here, so this is our tornado problem for tomorrow. We'll use an example here in Illinois. So let's use Mount Vernon, right? So within 25 miles, so let's see, that is 25 miles right there. So within 25 miles of Mount Vernon, right, there's a 5% chance a tornado will drop within 25 miles of Mount Vernon. So it doesn't mean it goes right through Mount Vernon. It means it's somewhere within 25 miles of Mount Vernon. So somewhere in that region. And yeah, I mean, it's just that. So 5% chance, and like I said, 95% chance of it not happening if you think of it that way. But like I said, it's, obviously something don't ignore. I'm not telling you to just brush it off. Like I said, it's something you don't ignore, but it's something you don't freak out for either. So it's like, we'll get through it. We'll get through it, guys. Why is it brown? It's because it's a 5% risk for tornadoes. Different color code. Showing you that it's, so the green's a 2%, and the 5 is a brown area. Yes, indeed. Let's see. Seasons seemed fairly tame so far. I don't know about that, man. I feel like it's been pretty active. It's been pretty active. Now, we haven't had, super, high risks and stuff like that, no. With that, yes, we haven't had many of, high-risk days, or... we've had a couple moderates this year. We've had a couple moderates, but we haven't had any, high risks this year yet. Hopefully we won't. This year, honestly, I'm hoping for it. Here, let me show you guys something. So this is actually some good news. I did want to mention this with you guys. I mentioned it earlier in my stream. So obviously right now we have that storm system rolling through this guy. Tomorrow we have this little surface low that develops that, amplifies a bit of severe weather. So yeah, that's tomorrow. So after tomorrow, here actually for the 20th and the 21st, it looks like we're going to get a bit more precipitation developing in the deep south, which could be the next rain event. Could drive some rain. It's still a little early to tell on the exact criteria of it. But then high pressure will build in from behind it here for the 21st, which should lead to some pretty good conditions overall. And anything past that, like I said, it's law land. So really anything going further than that, it's just not really anything to trust with your life. So, yeah, so we just got, there's nothing super big coming up here. Now, like I said, a forecaster, a crazy forecaster would say, oh my gosh, April 29th. There is a big event. No, that's too far. Like I said, 5 days max is what I usually look at. Hurricane season does seem very concerning. Actually, you know what? I was going to show you guys this real quickly before I head off. We're probably going to head off here soon, guys. I got to go eat some dinner, and plus I'm I'm starving. So I'm going to order me some food after this. So yeah, I'm gonna head off here soon, guys. But like I said, let's see here. So yeah, here we go. Let's go to the North Atlantic view. So here's basically our temperature anomalies. Now, it's very simple. The red means that the temperature of the ocean is warmer than normal, and the blue means it's colder than normal. And for hurricanes, you need a lot of warmth. And, well, the MDR, the main development region for hurricanes, is warmer than normal. This time of the year, it is warmer than normal, which that means we could have an early start to our season this year. Yeah, and it could mean that we could have a more stronger season too, because it's already warmer than normal, so it's going to continue to warm up throughout the year. So, yeah, that in itself is a little interesting. Also, the Caribbean too. I mean, the Southern Caribbean's pretty warm. The Gulf has some spots. Cooler in some areas and warmer in others, but yeah, man, it's just that's something I wanted to mention. We're gonna do a whole new update, or whole video, I should say, on hurricane season soon. So expect a hurricane season forecast to come out soon. But yeah, I wanted to mention that. It's just a little bit warmer than normal there. Speaking of other things like Pacific Oscillation and all. Things are cooling down, actually. out there in the equator. See that big blue splotch there? That things are cooling down a little bit there. And if you don't know, we're actually heading back into a La Nina. Yeah, look at that latest Enzo chart. I know Catman's going crazy over this. He loves climatology. So, yeah, it's been fluctuating like crazy. Big roller coaster ride. It's just been kind of going down, maybe a little bit up, but it's going to continue going down. The models are going to look at, that was awesome. That arrow, that was just something else. Anyways, but yeah, that's going to continue going down here in the models. Models all pick up on that. So by the time of hurricane season, we should be in a La Nina, which favors more heavier activity in terms of, so basically why La Nina is stronger in the Atlantic for hurricanes is because of what we call trade winds. Winds at the equator are weaker during a La Nina, which allows for the storms to basically, essentially allowed to, kick off with no limitations, basically. So if you have a storm, if you have a hurricane or a tropical storm developing in a region with a lot of winds, it will just shear off and completely kill the storm. Now, with not much winds, it allows for the storm to, breathe. It allows for the storm to not be completely smothered by those winds. It allows it to kick up there. I hate to ask this, but do I think hurricane season will be bad this year? Yeah, I do. Yeah, I did some analysis earlier. Let's see, a couple days ago. I did a YouTube short. Go on our shorts page. Check it out. It's our most latest YouTube short we put up. I did a bit of analysis, and on average for La Nina, we get about 19 storms. For a normal year, it's about 14, in which, we're going to see above normal storms this year, considering we're going back into La Nina. So, yes, indeed. They just says, hi, will Kentucky be hit, with a tornado today or tomorrow? So Kentucky, the western side, we have a small chance for some tornadoes. Once again, don't freak out over it. Don't worry yourself over it. There's a small chance that we could get an isolated tornado or two out there in western portions of Kentucky. So, Daisy, keep an eye on it tomorrow. It'll be probably late tomorrow, too, because let me show you here. The models, they do show, line kind of rolling through here. Kind of late. Yeah, right around western Kentucky. They're about, just after sunset. A couple prefrontals could happen, too. Unfortunately, Court, I am not joking about the tropics. Yeah, it's going to be an active season. It will. La Nina is coming. It is on the way. Let me show you this. If I bring up the Enzo forecast models here, I'll show you what I'm looking at. Let me find the right page here. Where's that? Oh, is that it right there? There we go. Yeah, here you go. So the here's the models on the same thing we're measuring here. Same thing. It's just measuring the anomaly. If the water's warmer or colder, or not in the equator of the Pacific Ocean. That does a lot for global weather. It does. Where's that thing at? Oh man, there it is. Okay. Yeah. So our average there, you can see the middle point of the models goes right down here. So that's about a degree Celsius cooler than normal, which does have a lot of impacts on the global weather. You might not think about it, but a degree Celsius differential in temperatures, surface temperatures of the equator in the Pacific waters, it's actually a big difference. That's considered La Nina, in which, August, September, October, that is like the heart of hurricane season, and the middle models show it about 1 degree Celsius below, which that's La Nina. Which La Nina means more hurricanes in the Atlantic due to less trade, weaker trade winds, and giving those storms overall more of a better probability of forming. And like I was saying as well, with things going on right now, with everything out there in the Atlantic, I mean, like I was mentioning, this is basically saying that the water is already warmer than it typically is for this time of the year, which, hurricanes need that warm water. So we could have an early season because of this, as well as maybe a longer season, as well as, maybe a lot more storms in general. But, oh, give me a break, Tangy, about Category 6 hurricanes. Dude, news outlets, man, I tell you. Anything for clicks, anything for views. Category 6, really? It's not going to happen, dude. It ain't going to happen. I mean, literally, the scale we have right now is good enough. Good enough, yeah. I mean, I've seen a lot of, like, news media outlets out there. They're, like, Category 6 just to try to get views up for that. It's, like, it's so dumb. So dumb. It really is. Anyways, y'all. But yeah, we're gonna head off here soon. We've been live for over 2 hours. This has been quite a lengthy update live stream. Yeah, typically we just do like an hour live stream update for you guys. That's about it. But like I said, today, obviously, glad to help out as many people as we did, of course. And once again, I just want to say thank you all for being here. You guys are awesome. Much love to you guys. Like I said, tomorrow we're going live tomorrow. We'll go live for coverage. So subscribe if you haven't already. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on your way out. Like I said, we're going to head off here in a few minutes, but, just turn on notifications. That way you guys get notified when I do go live and stuff like that. So, whenever I hit that live button and go live for severe weather coverage, you'll be notified immediately. So that will be awesome. That way you guys can know when to keep an eye on it. But anyways, y'all, see, have a blessed sleep. You too, man. Thanks for joining. You as well, my friend. But once again, everybody, thank you for joining. Let me go ahead and go over our donators one more time. Like I said, we had a couple donators tonight. Obviously, I'm very thankful for our donators and everybody who has donated to our channel from the bottom of my heart. Thank you guys. Like I said, you guys help keep me living. This is my career. This is what I do. So, like I said, all the donations definitely help keep food on the table, and it helps a lot. Helps keep my programs we use on this channel up and kept up with and all that stuff. So, yeah, we did have a couple donations. We had Mark. Thank you so much, Mark. We had Tabletop. We had Matthew. We had Maddie. And that's it. We had Matthew quite a few times. Once again, Matthew, dude, thank you for the support tonight, man. You absolutely rock. All of you guys, thank you. Thank you for the mods for moderating the chat. Thank you all. Thank you guys for everybody for joining. I mean, thank you all for being here. And like I said, don't worry about it tomorrow. We'll get through this tomorrow. I'll let y'all know what's going on in real time. So. But anyways, yeah, I think I'm going to head off here. I'm going to order me some food. I'm starving. I'm still deciding on what I'm going to eat for dinner. But I'm going to DoorDash me some food. But it's crazy how much DoorDash is. It's so useful, but so expensive. Anyways, guys, y'all take care. Have a wonderful rest of your night, guys. Like I said, hit that subscribe button. Leave a like on your way out. And most importantly, if you guys could share this, put it on your Facebooks, Twitter, help spread the awareness and all that stuff. That way you guys can be weather aware out there. Once again, everybody, I appreciate y'all for being here. Much love to you guys. And alrighty, y'all. Well, once again, thanks for joining us. We're going to go ahead and head off here. Guys, once again, thanks for being here. We'll see y'all later on. Peace out, my friends. Catch y'all here tomorrow.